ओम शांति। सबसे पहले प्रश्न का उत्तर देने के पहले बाबा ने हम सबकी खुशियों से ज़िंदगी भर दी। जो हम गीत अभी सुन रहे थे, इसलिए हम बाबा का आभार मानते हैं।
First of all, before answering the question, Baba has naturally filled our lives with treasures of happiness. And whilst listening to the song, the meaning of the song is that a deep thanks emerges from the heart for Baba.
वैसे भी अभी जब बाबा की साकार मुरली हम सभी सुनते हैं तो बाबा कहते हैं कि मेरे बच्चों से कोई ये न पूछे बच्चे तुम खुश राजी हो, क्योंकि मेरे बच्चे तो सदा ही खुश राजी रहते हैं।
We hear this even in the Sakar Murlis, that children, nobody should ask you if you're happy, because Baba's children should always be happy.
राधा बहन आई है, राधा आई।
क्या करे? On stage करे या ऊपर से करे? Would you prefer translation from the headphones? Yes? Yes. Radha, would you be able to? Okay. So I can then continue to interview Rajubai as a result. So I'll keep translation until Sister Radha goes.
तो बाबा ने हम सबको खुशियों से भर दिया है।
So Baba has filled all of us with happiness.
बाबा एक स्लोगन शुरू का सुनाते हैं कि पाना था सो पा लिया, काम क्या बाकी रहा।
The slogan that Baba gives us from early in the morning is that you have attained everything you wanted to attain. What else is there left to do?
जब सब कुछ मिल गया तो इच्छाएं कहाँ से आएंगी?
If you have received everything, then where is there a question of any desires?
पर्सनल प्राप्तियों की इच्छा हमें दुखी बनाती है।
What is it that makes us hungry? It's wanting some kind of personal attainment for the self.
और बाबा की श्रीमत के अनुसार अगर कोई सेवा की इच्छाएं उठती भी हैं तो उसमें कन्फ्यूजन नहीं होती।
दोबारा बोलो।
बाबा की श्रीमत अनुसार अगर कोई हमारे इच्छा उठी तो उसमें हम कन्फ्यूज नहीं होंगे।
Now, if a pure desire emerges on the basis of following Baba's Srimad, then the sign of that is that the soul will not experience any confusion.
अगर कोई इच्छा हमारी खुशी को गायब कर देती है, माना वो श्रीमत के विपरीत है।
That makes our happiness disappear. It means that it's against Srimad.
सबसे बड़ी बात बाबा हम सबको कहता है,
This is why Baba tells us the main thing,
हद की इच्छाएं, मान की, शान की,
that
नाम की,
you should not have the desires, limited desires, shouldn't even arise
कर रहे हैं
for name, for fame,
बाबा हम सबसे करा
for
रहा है।
praise, because whatever's happening, whatever we're doing, Baba is making us do, Baba is making it happen. And this is why,
राजी रहने के लिए
in order to stay happy
कई राजों को जानना
and contented, we need to know the deep meaning of certain things. Those who know Raj Yoga
कितने राज
will
बाबा ने
never
हम सबको
become
सुनाए हैं।
upset.
मैं
Baba has
समझता
told
हूँ
us the deep significance of so
हर
many
दिन
different
की मुरली
aspects.
में कोई न कोई राज
I
बाबा ने
think that in
सुनाया
every
है,
day's
गहरा।
Murli, Baba
उस गहरे राज को
reveals
अगर हम
one or
समझ
another
लेते
deep
हैं,
significance of something.
तो कभी नाराज नहीं होते,
And when
खुशी
we
गायब
understand the
नहीं
deep
होती।
significance
तो आज
of
हम
that,
आपको
we'll never get angry
सदा
or
खुशी में
upset.
रहने के लिए
And so
कौन
today,
से ऐसे राज हैं
in order to
जिनको अगर
remain
हम
constantly
अपने जीवन
happy,
में उतार लेते हैं,
which
कभी भी
we need to
उससे
understand the
गायब नहीं होते।
significance of certain things which we can
सबसे
bring
बड़ा
into
राज
our
बाबा ने
life.
हम सबको इस ड्रामा में सुनाया है।
And so the main significant thing that Baba has related to us is about the drama. Whatever scene has passed, it's past. It's not going to repeat again. If it is going to repeat, it's going to repeat after 5,000 years. And so we've all understood this deep significance. And so if any such thing does arise, if any difficulty comes which we never even imagined, if in that moment we allow that deep significance of knowledge to come into our intellect, that actually that scene has passed by. And so, as Dadi said yesterday, the event passes by, but we keep remembering it. And so it's as if stains, there's stains upon stains. And so if we're able to put a full stop and our happiness can come back. And so this is a deep significance of knowledge. And then the second thing is that when we have many, many desires, then these desires make us suffer a lot. If they're not fulfilled, then we become very troubled. And this is why whenever we have expectations or desires from any soul, we need to remember that every soul has their own part. Each soul has their own power, their own courage, and they will do only as much as they have that power. However many hopes, however many expectations we have in them, that they should do as we want them to do, and then Baba said they'll never do that. It is there that our happiness disappears. When someone doesn't do what we desire, according to our desires. And so the second deep significance of the drama is that every soul has their own part. One's part, one's role cannot be the same as another. And this is why we are listening to the very deep secrets of the drama through Baba. Even when something happens, Baba will say to us, this is the account of some previous birth that you're settling, and this is why you should settle it with happiness. Just as if you have any debt, and if you are able to settle that debt, then there's so much happiness. And in the same way, if there's any illness of the body, or if there's any clash of sanskars within relationships, if we're living in a center, or and we have to move from there, and then Baba says that, children, there's benefit in this for you, because the confluence age is the age for benefit. And in this age of benefit, Baba is the benefactor, time is a benefactor, and my part is also filled with benefit. And this is why it's very important, very necessary to understand these deep secrets. When we've held on to Baba's hand, then Baba knows, and it's impossible that there is any harm that happens. Even in scenes that seem like there's no benefit in them, but actually there is some hidden benefit there. In 40 years, I've seen many things that have been up and down. Whether they are tests for the yajna, whether tests within relationships. There are many weak souls who have been influenced by their own sanskars and have also defamed Baba, have defamed Baba's yajna. They've even spoken wrong things outside. And however, Baba's stage always remained loving and detached. And Baba never saw the soul with a vision of why did they say like that, and
बाबा ने
there
हमेशा
has to be
यही पाठ
revenge.
पढ़ाया बच्चे,
But Baba always
इनका
taught
दोष आता
the
है, इनका
lesson
दोष नहीं है,
that it's not their
पहचानते नहीं
fault.
है
They
ये
haven't
किसका कार्य
recognized
है, ये
whose
किसका
task
यज्ञ
this
है।
is, whose yagya
उस
it
दृष्टि
is.
से बाबा ने बहुत बेहद विशाल दृष्टिकोण रख करके
And this is why Baba kept
हर बच्चे
such
को
a
देखा,
wide
उनको
vision,
दिखाया,
overall
इसलिए बाबा
vision,
की स्थिति आप
and
शुरू से
uplifted the
देखते आ
soul.
रहे हैं,
And so I've seen Baba's stage right from
बिल्कुल
the very
निश्चिंत,
beginning,
बेफिक्र,
completely
कुछ भी
carefree,
हो रहा हो,
free from
बाबा को
worry.
बताया जाए,
Whatever happened,
बाबा आज
whatever was told to Baba,
गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से
that
ऐसा
Baba
पेपर आ
today,
गया,
the government
बाबा आज यहाँ
gave
पर
this
ऐसा नुकसान
test.
हो गया,
Baba, today there was
आज
this
किसी ने शरीर
damage
छोड़ दिया,
here. Baba, today
आज
someone
किसी का
left their
एक्सीडेंट हो
body,
गया,
someone had an
आज कहीं ऐसी
accident,
बात हो गई,
something happened
तो भी
here
बाबा
or
के
there.
चेहरे पर
But
आश्चर्य के चिन्ह
there
भी
was
नहीं दिखाई
never
देते।
the mark of
और बाबा
surprise,
तो
a
क्या,
sign of surprise on
हमारी
Baba's
जो
face or
निमित्त दादियाँ
shock.
हैं,
And then the
उन्होंने भी
dadis who are
अपनी इतनी
instrumental,
सुंदर स्थिति बनाई हुई
they
है,
too have made such a
कुछ भी हो
beautiful
जाए,
stage that doesn't matter what
कल्याणकारी
happens
युग में
in this
यज्ञ का,
age of
परिवार
benefit,
का, मेरा अकल्याण हो ही नहीं
it is
सकता।
impossible for there to
बहुत
be
अटूट
damage
विश्वास,
or lack of benefit for
बहुत
myself,
पक्का
for
निश्चय
the
है
yajna in the
कि स्थापना
confluence
का
age.
कार्य
And so this
संपन्न
unbreakable
हुआ ही
faith
पड़ा है, होना ही
that
है,
the task of
उसमें भले कोई
establishment is
रुकावटें आए,
already
कोई विघ्न आए,
completed.
कुछ भी परीक्षाएं
Whatever
आए,
obstacles, whatever
कोई
blocks
भी
that
मेरा
may
कुछ भी
come,
बिगाड़ नहीं सकता।
but they cannot ruin anything for me.
इसमें भी बात आती है
So within this, there's also the question. One is that we
बाहर से जब परीक्षाएं
have
आती
tests
है,
from
तो हम
outside,
समझ सकते हैं
and
कि
we can
अज्ञानी
understand
हैं,
that they
जानते
are,
नहीं हैं।
they
लेकिन
don't
जब
have
ये
knowledge,
परिवार
they
के
don't
अंदर
know.
से
But
परीक्षा
when
आती
there
है,
are tests from
मान
within
लो
the
किसी
family,
ब्राह्मण ने मेरे को
for
बोल दिया तुम
example,
ऐसी हो,
if
ऐसी
some
हो,
Brahmin said to
तो
me, you're
feeling तो
like this or
आएगी,
you're like that,
क्योंकि
so you would
ये
have
ऐसे क्यों
a
होता है
feeling,
मेरे लिए,
why
वो
are
मेरे
they
को जानता
speaking
भी नहीं
about
है और
this
गलत फहमी
like
किया
this
है,
for me,
मतलब
and why do they have
ऐसे
this
कर, तो
misunderstanding
जब
about
समय,
me?
जब तक वो समय आता है और हम फीलिंग में चले जाते हैं,
And so until
उस
we
समय
keep going
हमारा
into that
ज्ञान हमारे में
feeling,
चलता नहीं है।
we're not able
उस
to
समय
think
ये
about
नहीं
the
ध्यान
knowledge.
आता है कि
We don't
हमारा
have that
कल्याण
feeling
समाया हुआ है।
that there is benefit
तो
even
उस
in
समय
this.
जब भी वो फीलिंग आती है और शुरू होती
And so
है,
when that
तो
feeling
हमको क्या करना
begins,
चाहिए?
what do we need to do?
बहुत अच्छी बात है,
It's a
क्योंकि
very good
सबके आगे
thing
पर्सनल
because in
ऐसी
fact
प्रॉब्लम्स,
everyone
ऐसी
personally
परीक्षाएं
has
आती
these
हैं,
kind of tests.
और इसके लिए ही बाबा ने हम
And it is
सबको
for this
कहा
that
है कि
Baba
रोज
has said to us
सवेरे
every
सवेरे
day,
अपने
early
सम्मान
in the
की सीट पर
morning,
रहो।
sit on the seat of your
हम अपनी
self-respect.
सीट से कई बार उतर जाते हैं, इसलिए
Sometimes we get
तकलीफ
off
होती है।
that seat of self-respect,
बार बार अभ्यास इसीलिए हम कर रहे हैं
and we continue to
क्योंकि खुशी
practice
और गमी
in this way
दोनों का
only
आधार
because
संकल्प पर ही होता है।
happiness or
अगर
sorrow, the
संकल्प में
basis
हम
of
सोच
happiness
लेते
or
हैं कि हमारे
sorrow
लिए ऐसा
is
क्यों
based
कहा
on our
गया,
thinking.
ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए,
We might think, oh,
हम
this
अपने आप
shouldn't
को राइट
happen.
सिद्ध करते हैं,
We want to
और
prove
राइट सिद्ध
ourselves to be
करने के
right.
कारण उसी
And because
समय
of wanting to prove
हमारी
ourselves
स्थिति
to
भी
be
चौपट
right,
होती है,
our stage goes
मन
up and
में
down.
संकल्प नेगेटिव चलते हैं,
We
मूड
have
खराब
negative
होती है।
thoughts. Our
लेकिन
mood is
बाबा ने
spoiled.
जो हमें ज्ञान दिया है, समझ दी
But the
है,
knowledge that Baba
अगर
has
हम
given us,
ज्ञानी तु
the
आत्मा बन
understanding
करके
that Baba
रहते
has
हैं,
given us,
समझदार बन करके रहते
if
हैं,
we
तो
um,
ब्राह्मण परिवार में ऐसी कोई भी आत्मा नहीं है
if we
जो कहे कि
become
मेरे आगे कोई पेपर ही नहीं आया, हमें क्या
understanding,
करना है? और
and
विशेषकर
no
जब
Brahmin would say that no
युवा
exam, no
अवस्था में
test
हम
has
त्रास
come in
करते
front
हैं,
of me.
मैं अपने अनुभव की बात सुनाता हूँ।
And so I'm
जब युवा अवस्था में क्रॉस करते हैं और
telling you
विशेष कुमार
my
कुमारियाँ
own
तो
experience, and
बहुत कॉमन रीति से भी
when we
अगर
come
किसी
to
से कोई
Baba
ऐसी
as
बात भी
young
करते
people,
हैं तो भी लोग समझते हैं पता नहीं,
especially
इनका
as
संबंध
Kumars,
ठीक नहीं है, इनका
Kumaris,
व्यवहार ठीक नहीं है,
sometimes
इनकी
people
दृष्टि
say
ठीक
we
नहीं
don't
है,
know whether
ये हमारे
their
लिए गलत सोचते हैं।
relation
कहीं
is
पर भी
good,
कोई
their
न
vision
कोई
is good,
हमारा
or
अपमान कोई न कोई प्रकार से
sometimes
अनशन
people
लग
have
सकता
a
है,
misunderstanding
और
about
ऐसे
us.
समय में कई आत्माएं डगमग होती हैं, खुशी गायब हो
And
जाती है,
in that
लोग
moment,
सोचने
quite a
लगते हैं कि
few
ये तो मुझे जानता
people
ही नहीं है,
go into upheaval because of that. They say, well, they don't even know me, and how come they're saying this about me, that their vision is not good or their behavior is not good. And so Baba has said, don't become impatient because of your thoughts. Don't become upset in that moment. And in that moment, just become peaceful. You're not able to see the benefit in that moment, but with depth, with maturity, you'll be able to see the benefit of that scene. Don't give a reply, don't react instantly. Don't have the thought that I shouldn't even see them, I shouldn't even talk to them. Or when we have these kind of negative thoughts, we become very heavy. There's a lot of burden that accumulates. Because, and in fact, Baba has given us a very beautiful possession, property. Some people have the property of physical wealth or position, but Baba said that your property is the elevated stage. And this property of the elevated stage is what will be useful for you. Our knowledge, our study will make our stage, is there for us to make our stage firm and strong. If we're able to think about the knowledge and churn the knowledge very well, then, and in fact Baba said that if you don't have exams, then how can you move on from a certain class? And so when the tests come, don't react instantly, don't reply instantly. Whatever happens, have the practice, have the try to transform that. And so when we're able to transform ourselves, then there's a very deep benefit that's merged in that. Sometimes as we move along within the family, because of jealousy, sometimes there's this arrogance as well, that we or sometimes what happens is that Dadi praises us in class, so our stage becomes good, and so our companions have jealousy for us, and they start to defame us. They won't speak to the dadis about this, but they would speak to their companions saying, I know their weaknesses. So one speciality is praised, but people bring out the 50 weaknesses that we might have. And then if we hear about those things, that there's this discussion about us, then there our happiness is lost. I want to take this a little bit forward. When we were sitting with Dadi yesterday in the evening, Mandaben asked Dadi that if someone has a false defamation against me, then there must be some tiny little bit of truth there. Even if there's 10% truth, we focus on that 10% of truth and ruin our stage. So how can we take that teachings but not ruin our stage? So this is what I'm saying, that if our stage is ruined, it means that we have a lack of the strength of knowledge. We've not been churning enough. There's been a couple of methods that can relate. That if someone says something wrong about me, and yes, okay, maybe there's a certain percentage of truth in that, and then when we try to prove that and become stubborn about that, then that weakness increases. If we can just be quiet and merge that, and according to the right time we can give our side of the story, then the whole situation becomes clear. But the maryadas that have been created on the basis of Srimad, Baba has given us the boundaries of Srimad, and every Brahmin soul knows and recognizes and revises every day these boundaries of Srimad. Whatever it is, eating, moving, doing service, in everything there are the rails of Srimad, just like a train moves along the tracks. I've seen in the foreign lands that actually there's even trains that go on one track. But in fact, there's success when there's balance. Unless there's a balance, then the trains won't take us to our destination. So Baba has given us the track of Srimat. And so there's a need for balance in everything. Wherever there's a lack of balance, then there's the situations that happen, and we have wrong kinds of thinking and behavior. For example, if I have the sanskar of depth and quietness, but I don't have the balance of being entertaining, because the balance means however much depth, however much silence and introverted, and that much you should be entertaining. And so there should, sometimes in being entertaining, the spirituality is finished there. And so there needs to be the balance of being entertaining and being deep. And so if we're too deep and silent, then there's an effect on the brain. We'll continue to think, and whatever something happens, and in fact we end up drowning. We continue to become heavy. And so naturally, if we stay heavy, then one day we're going to break Srimat, because that weakness has been continued to accumulate, and then it takes a big form. And so that's why Baba has taught us to move along with a balance. So the balance breaks wherever. Sometimes the balance breaks in service. Sometimes we run around too much, and in fact Baba says, be busy in service, but together with service, we need to keep the balance of self-progress. Sometimes we don't pay attention to our body, we don't pay attention to the soul. So naturally then the body will become weak if we don't give it sleep and food. For the soul, if we don't give it Amrit Vela, we don't give it study, then the balance is spoiled. And so if the balance is ruined, then we're not able to be successful. So in fact, balance is a great art. The souls that move in a balanced way in the confluence age, whether it's the balance of karma yoga, the balance of being loving and detached, the balance of love and law, the balance of being introverted, the balance of interacting. Sometimes they come too much into interaction and forget about what God is saying. And so it's a very big art to be balanced. So if someone's moving along in a balanced way, Baba's child is moving along in a balanced way, they become very light, like an angel. Or if they have a lot of arrogance or a lot of too much zeal and enthusiasm, but there's no awareness, then that will reduce our happiness. Sometimes it'll be up, sometimes it'll be down. And so this is why you need to see in everything. Keep such a balance so that you would never feel that this is not right. If we move along in a balanced way, we will see that then we won't even need a doctor actually. Even within our body, we won't have illnesses very quickly. And in fact, we've seen that actually it's often illnesses that take away our happiness. Afterwards, there are the illnesses of the mind, but that also removes our happiness. And so if we move along according to Srimat in a balanced way, so I'm not going to go through all the different Srimat here, but Baba has given us a very clear line of Srimat, whether it's the time of waking up And Baba said at least 5 or 6 hours of yoga.
सवेरे का जो 4 घंटे का समय है, ये हमारी अधिक से अधिक जितनी सौन्नति उसमें हम कर सकें.
And however much self-progress we can have in the early morning, sometimes the body also needs exercise. It's essential and we should do it, exercise. And at the same time, we need to pay attention to the food for the soul. We need to give attention for this. And then during the day, however much busy we might be, however much busy our schedule is, we need to stop the fast flow of our thinking, and then we're able to create a powerful stage, and with this powerful stage we're able to overcome obstacles. Why does Baba say again and again, become bodiless, become incorporeal, become angelic? Because it's this practice that will make our stage elevated and powerful. Of course, we will have many tests, everything will happen. It is the iron age. And in this iron age, there is to be extreme of everything. But if you become fearful seeing the extreme, oh, this has happened to me, that's happened. Even after belonging to Baba, we've got this exam. But you're a student. As soon as you started the study, you have tests. It's not like you have tests after 6 months, after a year. You become a child, you start to study. And Baba told us that there are these 5 enemies: anger, lust, greed, attachment and ego. And so these will be the tests for you. They will try to come. But as the soul continues to become powerful on the basis of the churning of knowledge and yoga, I sometimes see within my own experience, because I type Baba's Murli, in that moment, nothing comes in front of me. Because and even though we live in the middle of the gathering, I feel that even though tests might come, but it finishes quickly. Sometimes we say that, oh, this test came, my mood was spoiled, I don't feel like eating. I feel that within 40 years, there's not even one day that my stage has become like soda water, which just means gone up and then gone down. Because the knowledge that Baba has given us, it's not just to listen and relate to that knowledge, but that knowledge needs to come into our life. That we need to become embodiments of knowledge. And however much we've been able to think deeply about that knowledge, churn that knowledge, we're able to create our stage, elevated stage. And then we'll have the practice of seeing ourselves as a detached observer. As an observer, we're able to see ourselves in a detached way, and also seeing the part of another soul. For example, if some very close person is very sweet in front of me, but they go and say something about me, not very nice, to another person, and then I hear about that, how many negative thoughts would there be? And so if they come in front of me, and for me not to spoil my vibrations towards them, in order to maintain a very positive attitude, positive vibrations for that soul, there must be some influence for that soul. There must be some particular reason, because this person can never think wrongly about me. Baba has told us that vibrations are created on the basis of our attitude and our thinking. Baba said that you will have a lot of praise, a lot of revelation, but you need to learn how to do service based on your thoughts. when your thoughts are very pure, very
तो सब
positive,
कुछ ठीक हो जाता
then everything becomes
है।
fine.
संकल्पों को अगर हम हलचल में ले आते
If
हैं,
we bring
संकल्पों
our
में, तो
thoughts
हम
into
व्यक्ति एकदम
upheaval,
नेगेटिव चल जाता है, भारी कर
we
देते हैं
become so
संकल्पों।
heavy,
तो
we become
संकल्प
so
बाबा तक भी
negative,
नहीं पहुंचते
then
और
those thoughts
संकल्प
don't even
आत्माओं को
reach
टच भी नहीं
Baba,
करते अच्छे संकल्प।
and
राजू भाई,
the good
यहाँ
thoughts
मैं
don't
थोड़ा
touch
और
others.
स्पष्ट करना
I would like
चाहती हूँ।
to just have it clarified a
और
little
क्या
bit
है
more
कि
here.
मैं काफ़ी भाई बहनों के साथ बैठती हूँ, मिलती हूँ,
I meet
तो
a number of
ये
different brothers
एक
and
जो आपने बैलेंस
sisters,
की बात उठाई,
and
बहुत अच्छी
so
बात उठाई,
one of the things that
और
you
ये मन
spoke
में आया
about,
कि ज़रूर
balance,
हमारा दिल और दिमाग का भी बैलेंस होना चाहिए,
that actually we need to
क्योंकि
have a
हमारे
balance of
जीवन
our
में
head and heart.
हमको जब भी हमारे बाबा के साथ जो संबंध है उसमें प्यार की अनुभूति होती है तो खुशी भी पैदा होती
So
है।
when there's love
लेकिन कई
in
भाई
the
बहन
relationship
पूछते
with
हैं
Baba, then we're
कि हमारा
happy.
सिर्फ दिमाग का ही संबंध है
And
बाबा के
some
साथ।
brothers and sisters
मान लो
say
हम
that we
5
only have
साल,
a
10 साल,
relationship of the
15 साल या
head with
20 साल
Baba.
से
From 15
हमने
years,
पूरा
20
ऐसे
years,
योग का अनुभव नहीं किया
we've
है।
not had that
वो
deep
जैसे बुद्धि
experience of
चलती है
yoga.
और
Yes,
बाबा के साथ
our intellect
कॉन्वर्सेशन
works,
करते रहते हैं,
we have
लेकिन जैसे
conversations
दिमाग
with
का
Baba,
संबंध रह
but
गया
it's
है,
like a relationship
लेकिन
of
दिल
the
तक नहीं
intellect,
पहुंचा
but
है।
it doesn't touch our
तभी उस
hearts.
स्थिति में
And so
आत्मा पहुंचती है
when the soul
और इसको
reaches
थोड़ा
that
दुख तो महसूस
stage,
होता है
then of course
कि
there's
देखो
sorrow
बुद्धि इतनी सारी
experienced,
चलाए। आपने जब भी बोला
that you
कि
see how
हमारे
much
संकल्प इतने फुर्त चलते हैं, जल्दी
we've
जल्दी चलते
used
हैं,
our
अधीर्यता
intellect.
नहीं होती है, धीर्यता नहीं होती है
We're
संकल्प
not
में।
able to be
तो
patient,
ऐसी एक
deep.
बहुत कड़ी बीमारी है।
And so this is a
ये जो
very
अंदर की आदत
deep,
है, एक
big
बीमारी है
illness.
और वो हमको इम्बैलेंस में ले आती है।
And it's this that brings us into
अभी मान लो हो गया,
imbalance. So we know
अभी
this
20 साल
now.
के बाद आत्मा
After
इस
20
स्थिति
years,
तक
we
पहुंच गई,
realize
उसको
that. Some people
रियलाइजेशन आया कि
realize
देखो मैं
that.
20 साल के
That
बाद
after 20
अभी
years,
मेरे को
even
महसूस
now,
आता है कि
I feel that
मेरा
it's
दिल का
just a
संबंध नहीं है
question
बाबा के साथ। अभी क्या
that there's no relationship of the heart with Baba.
दिल का संबंध तो मैं समझता हूँ दिलवाला ने हमारी दिल ही तो ली है पहले।
I think that actually the one who steals the heart, Baba has already taken our heart. If you've recognized Baba, then actually the relationship of the connection of the heart is the first thing that is connected. The head, you begin to use the intellect afterwards. And so you've had so many attainments. Baba has given so much time. Baba has given such good company, such a big family, such an elevated fortune. If you think and churn deeply about this fortune, then the love of the heart will arise automatically. Whom is our love? For whom is our love for the heart? So that Baba who has given us everything. So I think that your life that has changed, the life that was a worldly life, if you compare your previous life and the life now, so let alone the golden age, but even now at the confluence age, it's become so pure, clean, soft and gentle. And I think that, all the corruption, cleverness of of worldly people, Baba has liberated us from all of that. And so when you realize this, then the love of the heart will arise from within, of thanks, Baba. And so if someone says, there are 20 years that I'm in Gyan, but I still have only remembrance of the intellect, then I think that actually they have not brought into their thinking, they have not brought into their awareness all the attainments that you've received. But you're just moving along as you moved along in the old world. But in fact, there has been transformation, the vices have been left behind, you've received such an elevated life. And so the love of the Father, and so what Gopi says means appreciating your attainments. So yes, we need to appreciate our attainments. Baba has given us so much elevated knowledge, so much power, so much sakash. Right from the early morning, we receive so many jewels. Baba fulfills us even by relating just one murli. If you listen to the murli with love, and if you still say that there's no love in my heart, then what have you understood from the murli? The murli is related for this reason, that your heart becomes full and anything that's there finishes. So the love for the knowledge, love for the jewels of knowledge, love for the family, love for Brahma Bhojan, for the food. Because in fact it's this Brahma Bhojan that makes our mind and our body healthy. Who is it who's making us move along? Who is it that's making everything happen? Then I think that the love will be there automatically, the thanks will be there automatically. And so just as if someone is in the dust, in the mud, and if someone comes out of that mud and that quicksand, then there's so much thanks from the heart. In the world, people are within the rubbish, within the dustbin. There's so much dirt, so many vices. In every word there are swear words. And here Baba's taken us out of all of that. And there's that deep feeling, how come Baba has freed us from all that? There's not even a bad word that emerges from our lips. So he's saying that it's quite a delicate subject, this love for Baba. So we think that we should have love for Baba, but we don't have that feeling. So in that moment, how can we speak to our hearts? What can we do that our heart little by little opens out, and so that natural love emerges from our heart? Not that I have to love for the Baba, but there's no feeling. You don't have to say when there is love. When you're in love, then you don't even have to say it. In the Lokik world, if there is love for someone, they're ready to give their life. We'll give our lives, but we will stay in love. I read many letters from the souls of Bharat. And so someone who's in knowledge fell in love with a girl. And actually in the culture of India there are many rules and regulations, and so what caste that person is or what family they are, because in fact here they like to stay within their own family. But if there is attachment to someone out of the caste, and then there's a lot of opposition from the society, and then in that moment they commit suicide because they say, well, I can't live without this one. So we have given so much. Baba has given us so much. He didn't see our color, our caste, our birth. He didn't see anything, but he gave in an unlimited way, in a constant way. He never stopped giving. He gave unselfishly because he wants to create us. I've seen Baba since 40 years. Any child who did a mistake, and we know that they did disservice. I know that, for example, if there's some Brahmin who has done disservice and defamed Baba, and they go in front of Baba, and how much love Baba has for that soul. Baba will give love, Baba will give drishti, and won't say anything to that soul. Baba becomes the ocean of forgiveness and gives so much love. And then if someone still says that, well, I still don't feel the love, then what is the fortune? Because the one who bestows fortune is giving the fortune in an unlimited way. The ocean of love is sitting in front of us. And so, but if there's a lock on the intellect, then what can we say? And so we're taking sustenance from Baba in the avyakt form, and even since 40 years seeing Baba sustenance in the avyakt form, where Baba says do this, gives homework for 6 months, And still, if someone doesn't do it, he says, okay, never mind, it's past. Do
ऐसा
it now,
टीचर
do
कहाँ
it.
मिलेगा किसको?
Where will you find such a
कोई दूसरा भी
teacher?
टीचर अगर आप भी कहीं टीच कर रहे हो किसी
Even
स्टूडेंट को
if you are
पढ़ाते हो,
teaching someone,
स्टूडेंट
you
अगर
are
आपका
teaching a
एक बार दो
student,
बार तीन बार
if
चार बार कहना
that
ना माने, 5
student
बार कहे छोड़ो ना
won't
इसको
listen to
करके
you
क्या?
4 times, 5 times, then
हमारा
you
बाबा
say,
तो वो भी नहीं
forget
कर रहा है,
them.
छोड़ भी नहीं रहा है,
Baba will never let us
साल हो
go.
गए
पढ़ाते ही जाता है,
So many
सिखाते
years
ही
have
जाता है.
passed. He
आज
continues
क्रोध
to
पर
teach
मूवी
us.
चलाई, ये
Today
बेटा बोल
he
रहा है मुझे दे
talked
दो.
about
कितने
anger.
सालों पहले मुझे याद है
Since
82 या
I
83
remember
में
so many
हम
years
सबसे
ago in
वायदे कराए
82,
थे, लिखाया
83,
था बच्चे को
Baba
टेक्स्ट
made
में.
us write it and
कभी
made
भी
us
बोल
make
मुख में भी
promises.
अपशब्द नहीं आने चाहिए.
Don't
कितने
have
साल पहले कहा
anger.
था
There shouldn't be
और
any
आज भी वही
bad
बात
words that emerge. And even
इतना
today, Baba is saying
दिल
this.
से बाबा के प्रति निकलता, बाबा आप
So
कैसे प्यार करके
from the
पढ़ाते हैं,
heart,
ऐसे हमको सिखा
so
रहे
much love emerges
थकते ही
that
नहीं.
Baba, you never get
तो
tired.
जब बाबा को हम ऐसे रूप में देखते
And
हैं
so
ना, तो
when we
बाबा के
see
प्रति
Baba
दिल
in this
निकलता है,
form,
सचमुच
then
बाबा
really that love emerges
क्या
from the
प्यारे.
heart.
अब दिल का प्यार यही है और इसी
This
से
is
याद
love
आती
from
है,
the
इसी से
heart.
योग है.
And this is why we
हमारा योग टूट ही
remember
नहीं सकता है
Baba. This is why
जो
there's
हमको पाला है, बड़ा
yoga.
किया है, पढ़ाया
That
है,
yoga
सिखाया
can
है,
never be
हर
broken
प्रकार से
with the one
अपना
who has
बना के
taught us,
रखा
who
है,
sustained us,
माया से बचा
who's
के रखा है.
kept
तो
us
अंदर से
belonging to
बाबा के
Him,
प्रति
who
निकलता है
saved us from
दिल
Maya.
का प्यार.
And
दिमाग तो
so,
लगता ही नहीं, दिमाग
from
का
the
दिमाग
heart,
तो
the
अपने आप बाबा
love
कहता
of
मैंने
the
तो बहुत
heart
बड़ा बना दिया
emerges,
तुम्हारा,
not from the head.
इतना बड़ा बना दिया जो तुम तीनों लोगों को समझ
Baba
गए,
has
तीनों
made us
कालों को समझ
so
गए.
elevated
दुनिया का
that
दिमाग क्या कर
that
रहा है,
we
दुनिया में क्या है, हमको क्या
we
करना है.
the three worlds
इसलिए
belong to us, and so what
हमारे
is
अंदर से तो बाबा के
the
प्रति
intellect
बहुत
of
दिल
the
का प्यार
world doesn't
निकलता है.
mean
और
anything.
मैं समझता हूँ अगर दिल का
And
बाबा से
so
प्यार हो गया ना, तो
if
उस
there is
प्यार
love
के
from the
आधार से जब
heart for
संबंध जुड़
Baba,
जाएगा,
then
तो
when
बाबा
the
की सही
relationship
पालन
on
करना
that
बहुत
basis is
ईजी.
joined,
कुछ भी बाबा ने मेहनत दी नहीं,
then there
और
won't
अभी
be
भी कोई
any
मेहनत करता है ना,
effort.
तो भी
You
बाबा
won't
खुश
feel
है,
like there's
मेरा
any
बच्चा बन
effort
गया.
in anything, any labor in
भक्ति के
anything.
अंदर इसने मेहनत की, दुनिया में रह
Baba
के
said
मेहनत
that in
की,
the
अभी
path of
भी मेहनत करे.
devotion,
बाबा
you've
गुस्सा
done
नहीं
so
होता,
much
बार बार कहता मुझसे
labor,
मेहनत क्यों करते हो, मेरे बच्चे हो ना.
and now he says, well,
तो जब
you're
बाबा
my
हमारी
children,
मेहनत
why
को
do you
देख ही नहीं
labor?
रहा, देख ही नहीं सकता है,
Baba
तो हम
can't
मेहनत
see
वाली
us
जीवन क्यों
laboring.
जी. और
And
मेहनत
so why
तभी
should we
लगती
live a
है
life of labor?
जब कोई न कोई मन मत पर मत कहीं
When
न कहीं
we have a life
नीचे
of
ऊपर हम नहीं कर
labor,
रहे हैं, किसी के
when
दबाव में आ
we
गए,
follow
किसी ने कुछ
the
कह
dictates
दिया,
of
कुछ
our
हो
own
गया,
mind, or we
स्थिति
listen to
बिगाड़ दी,
others,
मेहनत लगने लगी.
if someone says something and we
तो
take
इसलिए
that
बाबा हम
in,
सबको
then
मेहनत
we
मुक्त
have to
देखना
labor.
चाहता है
And this is
और
why
कहता है
Baba wants
बच्चे
to see all of us
चलो कोई
free
बात
from
नहीं, हर
labor.
एक के अंदर एक बार यहाँ पर एक
And
रसिया
Baba
का
said,
ग्रुप
okay,
आया था
never
पहले पहले
mind.
शुरुआत जब सेवा की
Those
ना,
in the early
तो बाबा ने
days,
उनको देख करके
someone
एक शब्द
from
बोला,
Russia had come.
रसिया का ग्रुप था,
It was a
बोला
group
आप
of
सबके अंदर
Russia,
एक बहुत बड़ी शक्ति है.
and they gave
रसिया के भाई बहने थे, तो सब
a
देखने लगे,
rose to
पूछा बाबा ने
Baba.
कौन सी शक्ति है,
And
कोई
Baba
बोले
said there's a very
कोई कहे
great
पवित्रता की
power.
शक्ति, कोई कहे सहन शक्ति है. बाबा ने कहा नहीं, आप
And,
बच्चों के अंदर एडजस्ट करने की बहुत बड़ी शक्ति है.
and Baba said that in you children there is a
और
very
ये
great
शक्ति
power to
जिसके पास है,
adjust.
समझना इस बात को, एडजस्ट कर
So,
लिया,
so those who
वो
are able
किसी
to
भी परिस्थिति
adjust
में
some
खुश रह सकते हैं.
situation will always
आज
remain
साधन वाली
happy
हमारे
in
पास
anything.
साधन सुविधाएं हैं,
So we
लाइट है,
have
माइक
many
है, सोफे
facilities,
पर
many
बैठे, कुर्सी है,
comforts.
आराम
We're
से रह रहे हैं,
sitting
घर बना बनाया
on
कोई नहीं है,
chairs, we have
सब
electricity,
सब
everything
साधन
is
है,
ready
उपलब्ध है.
made
ऐसे समय में हम एडजस्ट
and readily
हैं, कोई
available.
तकलीफ नहीं है, तो हम
So
आराम
in
से
that
रहें.
moment, if we have
लेकिन
to
मान लो आज
adjust to
साधन
something,
हो,
there's no
और बाबा
problem.
कहता आएगा पेपर,
But Baba said that the tests will come.
लेकिन वो भी हमको बाबा ने पढ़ाया है,
But
सिखाया
Baba
है.
has taught us how to
एडजस्ट
overcome
करना
them.
सीख जाओ.
Learn how to
बेगरी लाइफ में भी
adjust,
बाबा के
to be
बच्चों ने जब
flexible.
एडजस्ट कर लिया अपने आप,
Even at
कुछ
the
नहीं था,
time of the
जंगल
part
में
of
जाके नाश्ता
beggary,
करते थे,
when there was nothing to
लकड़ियाँ
eat,
तोड़ के
they would
जंगल
go
से
and
ला
have
करके
breakfast
खाना
in the
बनाते थे.
forest. They would
खाना भी क्या
cut the
बनाते
wood
थे, एक आलू के
and
अंदर पानी डाल करके खा लेते थे सब
and
मिलकर.
they would boil up a potato,
बेगरी
mix it
पहाड़
with
में भी
water
एडजस्ट किया.
and eat that.
और
And so they were
साहूकारी के
able to
पाठ में भी आप
adjust,
देखो,
be
कोई भी
flexible
प्रकार
in
का शो
that.
नहीं है, ये है मेरे पास, दिखावा नहीं है.
And here in the yajna,
बाबा
there's
ने
no
दिया
kind
है,
of
भाग्य
show.
से मिला, ठीक है.
Baba has given us and we've
और
received it
नहीं भी
for
होगा तो भी
according to
स्थिति
our
नहीं बिगड़ेगी.
fortune. And even if we don't receive
हर
it,
एक
then
को अपने आप को
we don't
हर
have to ruin our
परिस्थिति में,
stage.
गर्मी सर्दी,
Everyone,
मान
whether
अपमान,
needs to
निंदा,
adjust, whether
स्तुति,
it's heat or
इसमें
cold, praise
एडजस्ट
or
करना है.
defamation, we need to adjust
और एडजस्ट कर
ourselves.
लिया अगर आपने,
And if
तो
you're
आपकी
able to
खुशी कायम रह
adjust, then
सकती,
your
स्थायी रह सकती। और
happiness
एडजस्ट
can
नहीं कर
remain
पाए
stable.
तो एक सेकंड में
If you're not able
इतनी
to
ऊंची लाइफ
adjust, then
जो
in
हीरो
1
पार्ट संगम
second,
पर भगवान ने दिया
the
है
life
वो
that you
एकदम
have
ऐसा
as a
लगेगा
hero life
जैसे
that
दुनिया
Baba's
वापस आ
given
गई।
us in the confluence age can be
नहीं तो कुछ
ruined
भी
and you
नहीं
can
हो,
go back to being in
बाबा
the
के
old
पास कुछ
world.
नहीं था,
Baba never had anything.
बेगरी पार्ट था तो कुछ नहीं रहा,
When it was the beggary part,
तो भी
he
बाबा
didn't
ने
have anything. There
लोटा
was
लेके
nothing
जा रहा
left.
है
Baba used to
बाथरूम
take
लेट्रिन
a little
और
urn of
मस्ती में
water
है,
and
भगवान
was
मिला
in
हुआ
the
है,
intoxication that
देखते ही साक्षात्कार लोगों
God, I found God. Just by
को नशा
seeing Him,
था,
there was
किसका हूँ,
the
कौन मुझे अपना बनाएगा,
vision.
इस
Because
धूल धूल क्या
there
है,
was
तो
that
मिट्टी है,
thought
तो अपने
that
आप आ जाएगा।
who do I belong to? Who has
उस
made me
लाइफ में
belong to
बाबा ने
Him?
एडजस्ट करके दिखाया, किसी
And so
बच्चे को
Baba
ये नहीं कहा जाओ
showed,
बच्चे कमा
demonstrated
करके ले आओ,
how to adjust.
बिनासी पैसे के पीछे भगाया नहीं
Someone
किसी को।
said, he never said to
कोई
anyone,
लोग अपने
go
मन से चले
earn
गए,
and
बाबा
come
मैं कमा
back.
के लाऊं, बाबा कहता बच्चे तुमको किसने कहा
Some
कमाने की,
said to, because of their
सरेंडर
own
हो,
desire, let me go and earn
तुम तो
and
बाबा
come
के
and
घर में
send
रह रहे
to
हो,
the
तुम क्यों
yajna.
लौकिक दुनिया में जाओगे,
And Baba said, why do you
नहीं
want to
जाना
go
है,
into the old world? Don't go.
ज्ञान
You're
रतन है,
living in
रत्नों
God's
का दान
home.
करो,
Give the
ज्ञान
donation of the
धन जिसके
jewels of
पास है उसके पास
knowledge.
धन आ जाएगा,
Those who have the
गुणों
wealth of
का धन है
knowledge,
वो
they
धन आ
will
जाएगा।
receive that
ऐसा
physical
पाठ
wealth.
बाबा ने उस
If there
शुरू
is
में
the
पढ़ाया
wealth
है
of
1950,
virtues, then there
51,
is all wealth.
52 में,
This is a
जो
question
बेगरी
of
पार्ट माउंट
1950
आबू में चला
52.
है, अगर
When there
इतिहास
was
आप
the beggary
पढ़ोगे
part here in Mount
लगेगा
Abu,
सचमुच भगवान
it was
कैसे
then
हमारी
that it
खुशी
was
को
so
कभी भी
clear
कम नहीं
how
होने दिया।
God never allowed the happiness to
एक
be
स्थिति,
reduced.
बाबा की स्थिति इतनी
It was
निश्चिंत,
an absolute
बिल्कुल
stable
बेफिक्र,
stage,
और बच्चों
completely
को कभी फील ही
carefree,
नहीं होने
free
दिया कि
from
आज है कि
worry.
मैं कुछ नहीं
And
हूँ।
Baba never allowed the
एक
children to
कहानी
feel
दादी
that
हमें
today
सुनाती है,
there is nothing in
होली
the
का
yajna.
त्योहार भारत के अंदर बहुत मनाया जाता
Oh,
है।
Dadi tells us a
होली
story.
का त्योहार
There
था,
was the festival
होली
of
के त्योहार
Holi.
पर सब घरों में जलेबियां बनती
And
हैं,
in the festival of Holi,
बहुत अच्छी
in
अच्छी मिठाइयां
every
बनती हैं,
home, there's a special
और
sweet that's
बाबा के
cooked, which is
यज्ञ के
jalebi.
अंदर बिल्कुल बेगरी पार्ट था,
And there was an
पैसा ही
absolute
नहीं था।
part of
और
beggary in
बाबा
the
शाम को
yajna. There was no
होली
money
चला
at
रहे,
all.
कहने लगा कल बच्चों को जलेबी खिलाई
And
जाएगी,
yesterday, Baba went to the kitchen and said, tomorrow we're going to feed everyone jalebis.
कहाँ
And
से
so the
जलेबी, कहाँ से
cooks
पैसा,
were
कहाँ
saying,
से घी
where
आएगा,
is all
कहाँ
of
से
that going
चीनी
to come?
आएगी,
Where is the
कहाँ
sugar
से
and
आएगा अनाज,
ghee
क्या होगा, क्या
and the
होगा,
grain
सब
going to
संकल्प चलने
come?
लगे लोगों
And so
के, जो
everyone
भंडारी थी,
began to
जो
think,
संभालने वाली
the
थी,
cook
बाबा ने तो कह
and
दिया
the one
जलेबी
who
बनेगी
took
कल।
care of the kitchen began to think, where is it all going to come
बाबा ने
from?
कहा
There's
अच्छा बच्चे
nothing.
संकल्प चलाते हैं क्यों,
Baba said,
बाबा
children,
में
you're
निश्चय
thinking
नहीं है क्या,
about it. Don't you have
बाबा ने
faith
कहा
in
है बाबा
Baba?
खिलाएगा,
Baba has said, and so Baba will feed.
चलो सब योग करो,
Okay, everyone have yoga.
सबको रात में योग में बिठा दिया।
And so Baba sat everyone down in the whole
ये
night in
ब्रज कोटि की
yoga.
बात है,
This is a question of
दादी
Bridge
जानकी
Koti
बहुत
before
अच्छी कहानियां
Pandavavan.
सुनाती है।
Dadi Janki relates
जब
very
सब
nice
योग में बैठ गए,
stories. So
तो
everyone
सामने
sat in
एक
yoga,
परिवार सिंधी परिवार रहता था,
and in
वो
front of
माता
them
उसकी
there
जो
was a
युगल थी
Sindhi
वो बहुत
family,
भावना वाली थी,
and
और जो
the
भाई
mother
था वो बिल्कुल
had a
एंटी था,
lot of
पति
good
उसका।
feeling for Baba,
लेकिन
but her
उसने देखा
husband
आज
was
रात
completely
को ये क्या हो
anti.
रहा है ओम मंडली में,
And then he saw what's
ये
happening
लाल लाइट
tonight
क्यों जल रही, क्या
in
कर रहे हैं, तो उसने रात को नींद
Mandli.
उसकी फिट गई
And so
2 बजे,
he wasn't able to
और
sleep, and he
अपनी
said,
युगल
what's
को
that
जगा
red
के
light
कहता
in
है
Om
पता
Mandli
नहीं आज बाबा
opposite?
को क्या हुआ है, रात
And
को
he
क्यों
thought,
लाइट
I don't
रात
know
भर जला रहा
what's
है,
happened to Baba.
तो उसकी युगल
Why
कहती
is
है
the
आज बाबा
light on?
तपस्या करा, होली है ना,
And so
तो बोला
the wife
अच्छा
said,
तपस्या कर रहा है,
today
जाओ
Baba's doing
बाबा को
tapasya
भंडारी दे आओ
because
जाकर,
it's holy. And so
अपनी युगल को उठाता है, कहती
he
सवेरे दे
said,
आऊंगी, बोला नहीं
he said
सवेरे तक
to
मेरी बुद्धि बदल जाएगी,
he said to his wife,
तो
go
अभी
give
जाओ,
this money
अभी
to
दे करके आ जाओ।
Baba. And the wife said, okay, I'll give it in the
रात
morning.
को 2
And
बजे
he said, no, but by
अपनी
tomorrow
युगल को
morning
उठाया
I'll change my mind,
और
so
वो
go give
पैसा
it
लेकर
now.
के भंडारी को
And so
पैसा
at 2
दे करके
o'clock
आई,
that money came.
और आ करके
And
दादियाँ बैठी थी योग में, उनको बुला करके उनको हाथ में दिया,
And
बोला
so
मेरे पति की बुद्धि ठीक हुई है, पता
she
नहीं
went
कैसे
to the
आपके योग से,
dadis who were sitting in
ये पैसा
yoga
लो, जलेबी
and
बना के कल खिलाना सबको।
and said to the dadis, here my husband gave this money.
बाबा
Baba
हम
touched his
सबकी
intellect.
परीक्षा भी
Take
लेता है,
this
लेकिन
money and
हमको
go and
मदद भी
make
करता है।
jalebis for Holi tomorrow.
अगर हिल गए कैसे होगा, कहाँ
And so
होगा,
if
पता बाबा
we
ने,
if we
मम्मा कहती थी
go
बच्चे
into
के
upheaval, how
की
will it
भाषा नहीं
happen?
बोलो, ये तो कौवे
What will
बोलते हैं, क्यों
happen?
बोलते हो ये भाषा,
And we start to say what, why,
कैसे
ke,
होगा,
you
क्यों
know,
होगा,
kyun,
कहाँ से
ka,
होगा,
how,
बाबा कहता
why,
का
what.
क्यों क्या
It's the
कैसे,
crows that
कब,
say, that
प्रश्न ही नहीं
that
करो, यही
call.
व्यर्थ संकल्प की
And
बीज है, जड़ है।
so these
भगवान
waste
में अगर
thoughts
निश्चय है, विश्वास है, अगर वो सचमुच सर्वशक्तिमान है
and
और उसने
are
कहा
the
है,
seeds of
जो
doubt.
कहा है वो होना है,
And so when there's that deep
करके
faith, whatever Baba has said, for
तो
sure that
बाबा ने
has to
कहा है,
happen.
बाबा के मुख से निकला होना ही
If
है,
it's
आप
come out
क्वेश्चन
of
नहीं उठा।
Baba's mouth, then it has to happen. There's no
इसलिए
question.
अगर हम सभी को बाबा में इतना विश्वास
And
है,
so
बाबा
if
की
we have
पढ़ाई में
such
विश्वास है,
trust in
बाबा
Baba,
की
in
बोल
Baba's
में विश्वास
study,
है,
in Baba's
तो और उसको हम फॉलो
words,
कर रहे हैं,
in Baba's Rama's yajna, and if we're following that, then it's impossible for there to be any any damage for
विदेश
us.
के हिसाब से, हमारी कल्चर के हिसाब से बाबा कहता है ये ठीक
According
नहीं
to
है।
our,
क्यों नहीं
we
ठीक है?
can't
बाबा
say
के
according
बच्चे
to
हम
our
सब हैं।
culture, according to
हर एक के
our
लिए बाबा
land,
की
this is
श्रीमत
not
है।
right.
चाहे आप देश में हैं, चाहे विदेश में
This
हैं, चाहे
Srimad
किसी
is
भी
for
कल्चर में पले हुए
you,
हैं,
whether you
बाबा
are in
हमारी
this
कल्चर
land
देख
or
करके हमारी
abroad.
बात नहीं कर रहा है।
Baba
वो
doesn't tell
जानता
us
है मेरे
things seeing
बच्चे
our
हैं,
culture.
इनको ही मैंने
He
देवता
knows
बनाया
that
था।
these are my children.
ये तो
It is
बीच में
them
कोई
that have
पार्ट
to be
बजाने
made
गए
into
हैं, लेकिन है तो
deities.
देवता ही।
In the middle,
घराना
they're
तो वही
playing
है।
that part, but they are deities.
जब उस नशे से हम रहते हैं,
And so,
उस
when we
समान
remain
में
in that
रहते हैं,
intoxication,
तो फिर ये हमारी
then
खुशी कोई भी पेपर,
no
कोई भी
one,
परिस्थिति में
nothing,
गायब नहीं।
no test, no
तो मैं तो यही
obstacle or
समझता हूँ
situation can
कि हम अपने
snatch
आप
away
को
our
हर
happiness.
परिस्थिति में एडजस्ट करना
And
सीखें।
so, Baba
चाहे
has
कोई भी
taught
कैसा
us
भी हमारे सामने
to
भाई आए,
adjust
बहन आए,
ourselves
परिवार
in
है,
every
कोई
situation,
संस्कार है, कोई
whether it is
स्वभाव है, कोई
our
आदतें हैं।
our family,
कई
our
तो
brothers and
सामने सामने आकर
sisters.
के दो लोग, चार
Sometimes,
लोग हम बैठे हैं, आकर के कुछ न कुछ ऐसा टोंट मार देंगे, ऐसी
sometimes
बात
people
कह
come in
देंगे
front
जो उसी समय हमारा
directly
चेहरा बदल जाए।
and give
लेकिन अगर
some
हमारी स्थिति बनी हुई है तो
criticism,
मुस्कुरा
taunt in
करके
some way,
बहुत अच्छा
and
चेहरा को चेंज
and
नहीं
try
करते।
to change
लेकिन राजू
the
भाई,
face
ये एडजस्ट करने की शक्ति
immediately.
होती
And
है
so
या
in that
सहन
moment, just say,
शक्ति होती
okay,
है?
never mind.
क्योंकि दूसरा
सहन
कारण
करना
है।
बाद में आता है, पहले
And
एडजस्ट करना है।
so
इसका डिफरेंस क्या
to
है?
नहीं, सहन तो
tolerate
कोई
is
मतलब करते
afterwards.
करते
First,
एडजस्ट
you
कर
have to
लिया, हर बात में
adjust.
एडजस्ट कर लिया, फिर सहन करना पड़ता है।
First, you
एडजस्ट कर लिया
adjust.
पहले।
First, you
मान लो आप यहाँ
accommodate
पर
and
आए
adjust,
और
and
आप
then
यहाँ
you
लाइट नहीं है,
tolerate.
आपने एडजस्ट कर लिया, बाद में आपको गर्मी लगेगी तो सहन करना पड़ेगा।
So, if there's no
पहले तो एडजस्ट
electricity,
करो अपने आप को,
first you
भाग जाओ यहाँ
adjust
से
yourself.
तो सहन क्या करोगे?
Then
तो
if you
पहले
feel the
एडजस्ट
heat, then
करना है,
you have to
किसी भी स्थान
tolerate.
पर
Or
पहले
if you just
किसी व्यक्ति
instantly
के
run
साथ,
away as soon
वो
as the
कैसे भी
light
स्वभाव
goes,
है,
then
संस्कार है, परिस्थिति
then
है,
you
पहले
neither
उसके साथ
tolerate nor
एडजस्ट करें।
adjust.
और एडजस्ट करेंगे
So
फिर कुछ सहन
anything-
करना पड़ेगा, कुछ समाना
So
पड़ेगा,
first you have to
कुछ
adjust, then you
समेटना पड़ेगा,
tolerate,
कुछ ना
and
कुछ
then
करना। सब शक्तियाँ बाद
you
में चाहिए,
merge
पहले
it.
एडजस्ट तो करो।
जब
But
ये
first of
अंदर
all,
की
you need to
दुख की
adjust
बात
it.
आती है, कंटिन्यू आगे बढ़ने से पहले मेरे को
Before we continue,
पूछना है
I want to ask you
कि कोई प्रश्न है
if you have any question.
के लिए
Do you have any questions for Raju Bhai?
बाकी है।
We have 10 more minutes. So if anyone has any question, please ask. Please raise your hand.
एक दोनों को नहीं देखो,
Don't look at one another.
देखो और हिम्मत रखो। प्रश्न? यस, स्टैंड अप। So your question is, should we ask anything from Baba, because it feels like a bhakti sanskara. It feels like begging from Baba. It feels more devotional to ask something from Baba.
बात करना चाहिए। वास्तव में
Actually,
हम बाबा से जो बात करते हैं उसमें कोई इच्छाएं लेकर
whatever conversations we have from Baba with Baba, we shouldn't have any desire.
इसलिए बाबा के समान बनने की हम बातें करें।
But we should speak to Baba about becoming equal to the Father. Baba, you're like this, and I'm also becoming like this. Now our conversations need to be like that. Because in devotion we have hopes, expectations, make me like this, give me power.
चीजों की विनाशी
We have desires for physical things, for perishable things. Baba has given us all attainments, and so those physical things will be fulfilled anyway. But we're going into the unlimited. We're going to become equal to the Father. We're going to become those who fulfill everyone's desires. Baba wants that my children should become the same as me, so that even from your images, people's desires are fulfilled. The deities created by Baba should be able to fulfill, are able to fulfill everyone's desires. And so, how can the children continue to ask Baba for something in their conversations with Baba? Give me this, give me a good house, give me a good car. How can we have these limited desires in front of Baba now? So there's no need to have a conversation with Baba with these limited desires. All the necessary things will be fulfilled. Baba doesn't fulfill our desires, but he fulfills our needs. Did you understand? If you have a desire, then, and if one desire is fulfilled, then 10 more will come. But if there's a necessity for something, then that will be fulfilled and you won't have any desires left. Did you get your answer?
आप कुछ अभी होली के लिए बोल रहे थे कि कुछ जलेबी खानी थी इसलिए योग किया था उसके लिए
नहीं वो बात तो बाबा ने बच्चों को
So there was the reason for this question was that because Baba wanted to feed the children jalebi, and this is why they did yoga. So actually, it wasn't that. It's when there's this particular festival, and it's a festival, and there's a custom to feed sweets. And so Baba said, do yoga. But it's not that Baba made them do yoga because of the jalebis, but to make their stage elevated. They didn't even know that the Baba didn't know that. No one ever knew why Baba is making us have yoga. But yoga is a method. Any problem or obstacle that comes, it's the medicine for all illnesses. So one child went to Baba and said, I feel very sleepy when I sit in remembrance. And Baba said, sit in remembrance, speak to Baba, and your sleep will go away. And the other thing was that another child went to Baba and said, Baba, I'm not able to sleep. And Baba said, just sit in remembrance, powerful remembrance, and then sleep will come. So the remembrance is the answer for all questions, all problems. Yoga is a facility. Yoga is there for us to be successful, to receive all powers. But we don't have to have yoga based on selfish desires, limited desires. Yoga is the magnet. Anything that is needed, it'll pull and come. It's not that you do yoga for that, but when you do yoga, that comes to you. So the yoga wasn't with the jalebis, it was with Baba. And so whatever is needed will come. It's a test, isn't it? There's no facilities, there's no comforts. It's a test, isn't it? So you stay in yoga and then the needful will come.
Don't be shy. There's a mic coming to you. We have 5 more minutes, so maybe just this last question. Anyone else has a question? Raise your hand now. No? Okay, last question.
I would like to know how to prepare Murli in every day, because when we have a question about when we talk to Baba today, there is an answer in Murli tomorrow to satisfy us.
So what's your question is is
how to prepare Murli, that which aspect that to present in every day, that which aspect, which the knowledge.
to research every day for yourself. I'm not quite understanding what you are looking
No,
for.
how to prepare Murli, how did he know that which aspect to present in every day, because there we can find an answer in the Murli to satisfy us, to satisfy us in many times that we have a question today, and we have an answer in the Murli tomorrow.
So the question is that when we talk to Baba and we have questions, we know that we can get the answer in the Murli tomorrow, but how do we research or listen to the Murli so we get that answer? How does who? आप कैसे?
अच्छा मुरली में जो क्वेश्चन
The question is, she's trying to ask that how does he researches the Murli in a way that next day she finds all her answers in the Murli, and which satisfies her.
He researches, she finds the answer.
Yeah, that's how does he researches the Murli so that she finds and gets satisfied next day.
वो मैं नहीं करता हूँ, वो तो बाबा करता है.
Saying, I don't do that, that's Baba that does it.
मैं थोड़ी करता हूँ.
I don't do that.
बाबा कराता है ना, बाबा कराता
Baba makes me do it, but it's Baba that does it. It's Baba that does it. Baba makes it happen.
मैं आपको देख करके या परिस्थिति को देख
Seeing you, seeing the situation, it's not that I type the Murli on that basis.
हाईलाइट लगी पॉइंट्स मुझे जो अच्छी लगी,
The points that are highlighted in the Murli, I note
नोट
them
करके प्रश्न उत्तर में लिख दें.
and I create the question and answer on that basis.
उत्तर देने हैं.
And if Baba has to touch you, Baba has to give you your answers, then Baba knows about that.
जब भी आप मुरली को सुनते
So when you listen to the
आपके
Murli,
अंदर कौन सी तैयारी होती
then
है
what is
कि
the
जो भी
preparation that you have?
हमारे अंदर काफी सारे प्रश्न भी ऐसे होते हैं.
And so we often have many questions.
कुछ हुआ, कुछ
Something
और प्रश्न
happened.
उठा. तो नेक्स्ट डे मुरली में कौन सी हमारे अंदर से तैयारी होनी चाहिए?
So
ताकि
what is the
हमको-
preparation
हम
that we
जवाब
need to
दे सकें
have
मुरली से.
that we
क्योंकि
can
कभी-कभी हम मुरली में बैठते हैं, ऐसे
get the
सुना,
answer
ऐसे यहाँ से कान से निकला.
the next
और जैसे
day?
मुरली
Sometimes we
कोई-
sit in the Murli and it goes in one ear and out the other and we just listen
ऐसा
superficially.
है कि तैयारी केवल यही है.
Actually, the only preparation is, however clean is the intellect, we don't need to ask anything.
ज्ञान अमृत की वर्षा मेरे ऊपर हो रही है.
Let the shower of the nectar of knowledge come on me. If I have some covering on top of me, then I won't be able to take benefit from that shower. So we need to keep ourselves clean, pure, so that we're able to imbibe, take in whatever Baba is saying. Whatever, we don't need to have any questions. Whatever Baba is saying to me today is true for me today. These are the elevated versions of God.
पहले पहले ग्राउंड बना दूं.
So when I listen to the Murli early in the morning, it's as if we're creating the ground, the basis for the whole day.
सब प्रकार के उत्तर मिले.
Then I will find all answers from
Last
that
question,
Murli.
because in
So
1
the
minute,
last
three
question
groups
here.
from America, Africa, Australia and Asia have to go to the meditation.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Ask.
Вопрос от русской группы. Если очень сильная боль или высокая температура и нет йоги, не получается йога, что делать?
The question from Russian group. What if one has some pain or high fever and yoga, we don't manage to have yoga? What can we do
This is physical
to
pain.
have yoga? Yes.
What if somebody has physical pain and high fever and can't have yoga at that time? What should they do?
ऐसे समय पर योग भले नहीं लगा सकते, लेकिन
And
शरीर से
okay,
डिटैच होने
at
का
that
अभ्यास
time maybe you're not able to have yoga, but at least be detached from the body. Yes, there's an effort to connect with Baba, but if there is pain, you're lying down,
ज्ञान बाबा ने दिया ना, मैं आत्मा हूँ,
become aware repeatedly of the knowledge that and the practice that I am a soul, this is the body. Try this out, practice, especially in fever. Then the body will become very light, and we're able to go. We're able to also become light. No need to try and make effort to go up to Baba, but just to become bodiless. I'm a soul, I'm separate from the body. Even if you do the practice of the soul and the body, then little by little the pain will reduce and Baba's light will reach you. Because Baba knows that my child is remembering me. The first practice is I am a soul. I am separate from this body. Just keep practicing this. This practice can be done in any illness. It's a separate thing if your mind isn't working. If there's some illness of the mind, it's another subject. But if I'm aware, then if the soul is conscious and aware, then I am separate, the body is separate. Do this practice.
Thank you, Raju.
Thank you.
I
Shanti.
don't want to stop. आपको मतलब इतना अच्छा लहर चल रहा है.
There's such a lovely wave that's continuing. The heart doesn't want to stop it.
Raju Bhai's sharings is a lot. Maybe we should get him back again for another session. Yeah? Okay. All right. So let's finish with 1 minute of silence. And then immediately I'll request the group from the Americas, Australia, Asia and Africas to go down to the meditation hall as quickly as possible. Sister Mohini is waiting.